your pancakes are big.
Makes it better.
They look pretty good. We are eating breakfast. We don't have no results yet. Look, I still have Sleepy sending me. Pretty much we're waiting for results. I guess of the just some test, I guess, to see about like the infection, I guess. He's been getting more antibiotics, but he's doing good now. I think he's had 2 or 3 bags of antibiotics. Is it good?
These bacon are good.
Yeah.
No, just like.
I think they make them instead of like on the stove. I think they like bake them in the oven.
Bacon.
Yeah, you can put bacon in the oven. That's how it all cooks even. A lot of people do. So that's what we're doing. We're just waiting. It depends on those results. So that's all we're waiting for. But he's doing way better. So they're thinking it's infection. And it made him real sickies. And sometimes it can go into the brain if it was an infection here and cause the issues that it caused. But the meningitis and stuff is all negative, thank God. All that's good. So that's what everyone was worried about. But so yeah, he's ready to go home. But they got him all fixed up. His headache's gone too. But yeah, they put him on a pretty strong antibiotic. And I think they were treating him for meningitis anyways or something like that. It said Turtle Gang is here praying for ya. Turtle Gang. Yeah. He's been poked so many. He hates needles. He's been poked about. How many times do you think you've been poked? Like 30 times? Probably at least. Probably over 10 times for sure he's been poked. They just barely came and poked him again. Oh, he hates it. I think he said it's worse than when he broke his clavicle. I was like, dang it. Really? So I think that's his phobia is the needles. I have thyroid issues and oh really? But yeah, no, he's pretty good now. He's eating breakfast. He got pancakes, scrambled eggs, bacon, and some Fruit Loops, apple juice, and milk. I got a burrito, which looks like it's soggy, eggs and the sausage, and forgot my malto meal, so they're bringing it. So I don't know why there's a little water underneath, like liquid underneath this burrito. How the heck are you gonna eat that? Oh, it has green chili and potatoes. I think that's potatoes. We'll see. We're gonna try it. You know what you should have did first was rip up your pancakes and then pour the syrup.
What?
Like ripped them with your fingers, like in pieces, because it would be easier. Since there's not a lot of room on your thing to cut them. Yeah, it's just easier. And yeah, I got orange juice. We're hungry. So I guess mukbang it is, but he's doing better. We're ready to go home. I hate being at hospitals. My back. It took me forever last night to figure out how to fold out this couch. Because it's a new one. Huh?
You know why? I should have.
I told you. Did it come with a knife? Yeah, you should have one. Huh?
Yeah, it was hard to pick it up.
Maybe eat your bacon and eggs to give it some room first and then eat your pancakes. Told ya. That's why when I make y'all pancakes, I always rip them up. I always rip sides up. Do I rip y'all's up? I don't think so, huh? Do I? Sometimes. His meningitis, however, ended up being the severe sinus infection. She was delirious and was walking in horrible pain. Ashley, that's exactly what was up with him. Same thing. He was like out of it. And the infection shows like the sinus. Well, they're trying to grow it too to see if like it was anything else. But from the CT scan, it showed hair. But through the blood, they're doing testing, like, and it has to grow. But same, and that's why I was fucking scared. But he didn't have no fever or nothing, so that's good. So, but they still checked him for meningitis and treated him like that, anyways. But I didn't know that if it gets like that bad, like it can like make them. Well, he even said it can make you go septic. I was like, what? I was really scared, but thank God no. But like if he would have got fever and stuff, that would have been a sign of that, which is scary. But he was like out of it. He couldn't even like get words out or understand or answer me.
I could get words out.
You were saying, no, you were like stuttering and you couldn't say stuff. Remember you were trying so hard?
I could say some stuff.
And that was after a little bit.
No.
And then
I
when
could
you
say like the basic words like what.
Yeah, but you couldn't talk. And then when he got a little better and started talking, he was saying off the wall shit. I don't know what the hell he was saying. The nurses either. He wasn't making no sense. He was like getting his tongue twisted. I think is what you call it. And then his words backwards, like instead of saying the light was bright, he said the bright was light. He was like saying like that. I don't know. My sister even was like, what the? He didn't know his birthday. He did, but he was not getting the words out right.
I knew what I was talking about, it's just y'all didn't know what I was talking about.
You knew what you were talking about, but we didn't know what you were talking about. Yeah, because you was saying Christmas was 36. It was scary. We can laugh now, but it was actually really scary. Especially when I first picked him up. I was like, what the hell? I was thinking to that nurse, why didn't she call an ambulance? I think at first she thought, well, I kind of thought for a little bit too that he was somebody drugged. No, that somebody drugged you. I kept asking you, did someone give you something? Because high school, you never know, and people are bullies too, So.
I think that's just the high school you went to.
Probably, but you never know. So, I didn't know what to do. I thought somebody drugged him. I don't know, but that's so scary. So, y'all, shit can happen like that just from an infection. It really can. It's very, very scary. And if, like, it would have stayed, it could have turned really bad. Was he able to hear himself? Were you able to hear yourself?
Yeah.
I know you kept saying you didn't understand.
I knew what I wanted to say, I just couldn't say the right words. It was like, I wanted to explain about how I felt the same when we went to the fair at one time.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that. It's just like, I didn't know how to say it. Like,
you feel like you couldn't get the words out?
Yeah, it's like, I just want to say the words. It's confusing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, you were trying, and then you were getting more frustrated, and then you would have a hard time. That's all I kept telling you. I was like, just, okay, yeah, shh. Because I think it was overwhelming him. Well, oh, man. It was so scary. Let me get rid of this person. How hard this is. They're annoying me. Yeah, he's ready to go home. I was like, you don't want to take a shower here after you eat? He's like, no. He wants to wait till he gets home. You probably have to if you don't get to go home today.
I feel like we probably will.
Yeah. Yeah, probably because you're doing alright. I wish I would have got bacon. This sausage is kind of Oh, it's so scary. I even called my mom and everything to come down here because I was thinking stroke or something. Oh, because my uncle had a stroke, and years ago, like when he was younger, and I still remember, and he was like that, like where you couldn't get words out or getting like words confused, and yeah. So I was like, oh my, which I was like, I don't know, because he's young, but you never know. Yeah, right now she said there's not really a say, like of whether we can go home or not. That it just depends on the results. They're waiting for the results. Once those come in, then I guess go from there. Whether he'll stay or leave, but he's doing great, so I'm sure we'll probably leave. And they got him on antibiotics. They keep bringing it in here, little bags of antibiotics. So, but yeah. Look at it, mushy. You see it wet? I'm hungry though, so. Ooh, that green chili's a little spicy. You want to open up your milk? Okay.
Wow.
You think you got to take the plastic off for it, or wait?
What do you use? This?
The plastic off first, yeah.
Yeah. I can't grab it because of my nails.
Oh, at least they give these kind of milks instead of those little, like the school ones, like they used to do. So they give you a whole, you can save it.
Yeah.
Instead of those little carton ones. That's cool. Shamrock milk, 12 grams of protein. Alrighty, bruh.
Protein.
I seen some people talking about why would they focus on genetic testing right now in the ER. He's admitted, and why would they this before finding out what was wrong? They did treat him for what was wrong first. That was just something extra afterwards that they mentioned, and she said the actual doctor, not the ER doctor, the pediatric doctor, said she can go ahead and put the tests in. So why he's here, why not go ahead and add it to his blood work and send it off just to be a step ahead? I mean, it's not what is it gonna. So I was like, okay. I don't know why people made it such a big deal. No. Like they were only focused on that. No. So yeah, while we're here, yeah, I told them, yeah, that's fine. We may not get it back, while we're here, but he's got a follow-up appointment with Dr. Monday, his actual doctor. And then they can go from there to get the results back about the genetics, and then see from there if they got to do further testing or whatever, all how that goes. It'll be furthered, but they went ahead and started the process while being here just to, because they can. She said I can go ahead and put it in and add it with his blood work that he's already getting. So I was like, all right, cool, go for it. They said they'll know he'll have that if he has an extra X. I sure will, thank y'all. This is pretty good if the top wasn't soggy. Actually, better than that. I could green chili. Scared the shit out of me. I think we should ground him. What do you think? I think you should be grounded for scaring the shit out of me.
Me?
Yep. A couple ass whippings or something. Phew. You had me scared. You had Bryce scared too. He was worried to death. He's supposed to be eating and he's over here playing the game. Look at him.
Because I keep accidentally grabbing at the thing that they took it off and it's hidden.
Was it numb or what?
But it's because, I don't know.
Feels soggy?
No. It just hurts a bit because that's where they poked me.
Oh, where they poked you? Yeah, it'll be sore.
That's what looks all weird.
Yeah, it's just sore, bruised. Yeah, the first thing they did when he got in, they poked his finger to see if it was his sugar. Because I guess if your sugar drops or something like that, it can cause you to be like delusional or delirious. Or what do you call it when you act like that? Delusional? Delirious? Confusion? Confusion? I think there's a name for it where you're. Yeah, but I guess if your sugar drops, that can cause that too. So the first thing they did, that's what they did, was poke his finger. He didn't even know they had his hand and everything. And then once they poked it, then he snapped. He was like, "Ow!" But his sugar was fine. So altered, delirious. Yeah, either delirious or altered. Altered.
I don't think it's altered.
Lethargic. I think lethargic's more like. He was more like. Well, he was kind of having a little bit of a hard time walking. Yeah, well. He was more up here. Confusion. Not really. Oh, he wasn't that lethargic. He was kind of a little off balance, but not like lethargic. Hope we get to go home today. No, I don't think they'll poke his finger again because he's all right. They got him eating normal, and his sugar was normal. When the first time they poked it, it was all right. Haven't really talked with him much about the genetic thing. Oh yeah, after all of that they did though, it took them a long time to do the spinal tap, and I was in there with them. They had to drug him up 3 times, but finally the last time they ended up poking into one area, and then they were doing it for it took like an hour. I was like, oh, I was getting anxiety and hot, and boy, they had to keep curling him up, and he was like not all the way out, but you know, he would start saying it hurt, and then they'd have to numb it more and give him up more medicine, and I was so scared. That shit's scary. But then they had to take it out and poke him in a new area because they couldn't get no fluid. He struggled getting it for a while. He's like, I don't know. He was like dried up, his fluid. But they finally got it. It took a long time. And then afterwards, they had to put him on his back. He had to lay on his back for a couple hours. But after that, he was snoring. I'm talking about full blown snoring. And I think, like, it had already been hours. So I think he was so wore out, and then the medicine they gave him too. But I think that helped him as well because he had already had a round of antibiotics and all of that stuff. So after he like crashed out and slept good, once we got to the room, that's when he woke up, he was all way better. He was like more himself. He was still kind of tired, but he was like he was like way better than in the ER. Like, I think he needed that rest. I never in my life heard him snore. And he was snoring. Yeah, they made him lay on his back for a couple hours. He still ended up getting a little bit of a headache though, but they gave him medicine last night. He says his back's a little sore today, which I figured it would be. Yeah, he was dehydrated. That's why I remember I said his acid thing was high. That's a sign of dehydration. So they loaded him up. He's had so much bags. I think in the ER he had 3 bags of fluid, and they were pumping it fast. He was freezing. He was doing the because of that fluid. And then they've been giving him some in here too. But yeah, he was dehydrated. Yeah, he is. He's back to normal now. Just sore. But when they did the spinal tap, he was like, I'll be concerned. He said, I'll tell you in a minute once we do get the fluid. He was having a hard time getting it. But he was like, if it's clear, it's a good sign. If it's cloudy or yellow, or even with blood, that's when we gotta worry. Or if the flow is too fast, that's when you worry. But his fluids from his spinal, I was watching it. It was all 4 tubes they filled up was all clear. So he said that's a really good sign. But they treated him for it anyways. But and then they send it off anyways, too. But yeah, no, his fluid was clear, so that was a really good sign. Like, it literally just looked like water. Did y'all know that comes from our brain? What the hell, huh? I didn't know that. Ooh. I was getting like anxiety, and then he was explaining it too, like it comes from your brain, and I was watching him stick that wire thing in and out of his back. He kept pulling it in and out, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna pass out. Well, just the thought of it makes my back hurt. It was like an hour. I remember I had a spinal tap when I was young, but I was a lot younger and I can still kind of remember it being traumatic. But I was like, it's worse. I was telling that guy, I was like, shoot, I'd rather deal with it at a young age because you kind of forget, you know what I mean? But at this age, that's when you remember. Traumatized. You can't just hold them down no more, you know? They know, and then if something's gonna, you gotta do something for them, you know, it's a young kid, they don't know. And you just do it, but at this age, they know, and so then they're expecting it, and they know what's gonna happen, and, you know, it's just harder.
Wow.
At your age, doing stuff like that is more traumatizing because you're gonna remember more than like if you did it when you were little.
Why would that be traumatizing?
You're not traumatized from the spinal thing? You're not thinking.
Good, but it wasn't traumatizing.
No? Well, I was traumatized watching you. It was literally like a
The only reason I was crying
big wire he kept sticking in there.
It just hurt.
It was like this long, Blaze.
That long?
And he was going in, and then he kept pulling it out, and then he'd go back in there, and then reposition it, go like over and over. I was like, oh my God, dude, you're paralyzing. Ugh. It's like a little metal wire thingy. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. It was scary. No, I didn't fix my lip, y'all, because we were supposed to. No, remember I was supposed to check them out from school, and we were gonna go to Lubbock. So I was last night too. He was like, I cried because I was waiting for you to pick me up, and I was like, I know, baby, I'm sorry. Well, brother got sick, so no, I had to cancel. I couldn't go do it because all this happened. So everything took a turn, so we didn't go. I need to go to Costco though. I need to get paper plates and trash bags for the house. Sometime, maybe I will still be able to go this weekend, maybe Sunday. What's today? Saturday? Tomorrow. Yeah, he told me it was kind of like Epidural. Ugh. I said, ooh. Yeah, epidural that make you bend over. Ooh, and it's just like pressure, I guess, with the epidural. Oh, it makes my back hurt thinking about it. Hey, Nicole. Oh, Nicole, I love the purse that you got me. I was gonna message you after I got done live, but when I got done live, it's when I had to go get Blaze, and then I got sidetracked. The school actually called me while I was live still. But I didn't think nothing was wrong because at first they said he was just sick to his stomach, and he does that during school. So does Saya. You know, once school starts, then all of a sudden there's tummy's hurt. All summer they were fine. So I was thinking, oh, here we go. You know. And then like 10 minutes later, she called me back, and I was on my way there. And then she was saying he wasn't talking to her, and he was like freaking out, hyperventilating. So then I had to get on the phone with him, and he wouldn't really tell me nothing, just that he didn't feel good and he was freaking out. Then when I got there, she had to wheel him out in the wheelchair, and then that's when I knew something was wrong because he was like out of it. I was like, why the hell did you not call an ambulance? Clearly, you can see like he's not, something's wrong. He was Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I need to talk to the school about something like that because I feel like if my child, which I know at the beginning she thought the same, like if he was just sick, but if it worsens like that in a short amount of time, if it was a stroke or if it was a who knows, anything, and it something like that, and your child's in their care, like they need to move quick because it's better to be smart than to wait it out. You know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna have a talk. Like, if my kid's here and something happens, like the nurse needs to like call the parent. That's why when you sign them up for school, they have that thing that you fill out talking about if it's okay for them to call the hospital, call 911, and for them to be taken to the hospital for emergencies. And you say, yeah, I put yeah on all mine. But they need to like, you know, move quickly, not just like whatever. Hell no, I would have called an ambulance. It was like noticeable. I know she called twice to check on him, which bless her heart, she was worried for him. She kept calling me and checking to see if he was all right and if we found out anything. But still, I think just for next time, maybe this will be like, okay, when something happens, we need to take it more serious and probably call out an ambulance instead of just waiting. And then I got him in the car, and then she was trying to still talk to Blaze, and you can tell us, if somebody gave you something, because I think we thought he was like high or something. But then he was like pale too, and I was like, no, girl. And then she was still trying to conversate with me, and I was like, I need to go. I'm taking him to the hospital. I walked around to the car, and she was still talking. I'm like, no, come on, shh, no more talking. No more talking, like, I don't know. So Monday, I'm going to call, and, I'm thankful that she, was calling and checking on him. That's sweet. They don't have to do that. That means she gives you shit. She cares. But I'm definitely going to talk to them about, like, hey, if my kid's in your care and y'all's, I expect if something serious happens like that, for y'all to call 911. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously call me and inform me, but I think the first thing you should do is call 911. That's why I signed that slip when I signed him up for school, that I gave the permission for him to be able to be transferred to the hospital for an emergency. That's why I did it. You know what I mean? But I don't think they're bringing me my malto meal. I'm sad because that's really what I wanted. I didn't even want this heavy food. I just wanted like that real light on my tummy. Where's playing his game? No, at first, yeah, when I got the call, he wasn't that bad. When she first called me, he wasn't. And then after a little bit, he got worse. And they do that every year. So as a mom, yeah, my first thought was, okay, here we go. School, trust me, all last year it was the same. You get calls from the school that their tummy hurt. I'd have to go check them out. I think that's all kids. Every year they're fine all summer, but once school starts, everyone starts getting colds and passing it around the school and stomach bugs, and it's just, or you know what I mean, being overwhelmed and stressed, they tummy starts hurting. I had to check out Saya last year too, from tummies and all that shit. And then he'd come home and be fine. It's just part of it. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh shit, here we go. So I didn't think nothing of it. Like, it's just a kid thing. You think I automatically was like, oh yeah, oh my God, my kid's over here having to go to the emergency room? No. Think I thought that? No, until when I was already almost there, she called me back and said that he was she said hyperventilating. So I was on the phone with him, and then I pulled up. So yeah, it wasn't an emergency. An emergency? We didn't know it was an emergency. Neither did the nurse until he got worse. Pretty quickly. She gave him a mint, I think. He said he had a mint and water. And then that's when he felt worse. No, she was sweet. She was worried for him. She called, checked on him twice yesterday. No, she was sweet, but I'm just saying in general, not even just her, just the school, that if our kids are like something like that changes, like their health, you notice that their health changes like that in a short amount of time. Like, my thing is, I want you to call 911, don't wait for me. But no, I didn't know it was something serious. Thought it was just his tummy hurting. And there's, like I said, there's times where I picked him up from school and he goes home and he's fine. Or he'll throw up once and then they're fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's tummy bugs be going around the school and boogers and all that shit. Saya, look, his first week of school, yesterday, he already had boogers. I'm like, well, here it all starts. One of my friends' kids got double pink eye already from going to school. I'm like, dang, it's only been like no, it was their second week of school. Everyone's already getting sick. No, so y'all can talk shit all you want, but we didn't know it was serious until even on the phone, I didn't really know until I seen him. When I pulled up and got him, I was like, oh, I was freaking out. And I went from there straight to the emergency room. I called my sister to go get Bryce. I called my mom. I didn't call my mom though until right when we got here. They got him back fast. There was a bunch of people and I was like, oh, I hope they don't make us wait because I'm gonna be pissed. I'll go outside and call an ambulance from outside. No, but they took him back real quick and started getting them quick. And then they came and took him to get a CT first. That's the first thing they did. Well, they poked his sugar and then they took him straight to CT. And while I went in the back room, because I couldn't be, when they were doing it, I had to go behind the wall. That's when I called my mom and I told her. And then she was like, I'm going to come. And I was like, yeah, he's tripping. No, Saya went to my sister's house. He got to go and hang out with his cousins. She had to pick him up from school from me yesterday, too. We're watching Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh yeah, Saya's doing so much better. I think because he's getting older, but he's been doing so good with just going into school all by himself and even into the gym. I've been so proud of him. He's been doing really good. So I think this year, so we ended up missing the basketball thing because I didn't know who to get a hold of. I emailed them multiple times, never heard anything, so I had to call around, and they had already started it. And I'm like, well, I never got called like for the information. I had just when I got the email and did the signups, I just did that. So I didn't know what the fuck. So I was like, but I think it would have just been all a lot for him all at once. So I think there's going to be other sports, like there's going to be soccer and stuff later on. So I think now that he's getting adjusted and doing really good, then I think the next thing would be like maybe he'll then be ready to like be put in sports and stuff because he'll be more confident and not so. Y'all know how he'd be freaking out. I think now that he's doing his own stuff now, like a big boy, he'll be more ready just to start sports where it won't be overwhelming for him and overstimulating and he doesn't want to do it and all that. So like everything happens for a reason the way it's supposed to. But I do want to get him started on sports, and if it's not this year, I think this year he's preparing and getting real good and growing in so many areas that next year for sure he'll be ready to do sports because I want to put him in something. I may try all of them just to see which one he likes, because there's softball or t-ball, whatever it is. There's soccer, and there's basketball. I think that's it. I don't know what else they do here, but I think it'll be real good for him to be in sports growing up. Keep him busy, My back's killing me. It's hurt my tummy and I gotta. Are you done, Blaze? Are you done with your food?
No.
My milk is warm. Was yours?
Yeah.
Flag football. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody else them doing that here. I don't know. A lot of kids mostly put their kids in, I feel like softball. It's like the big sport here is like everyone likes to play softball.
Oh, look who we have here.
Hi.
How is our morning?
Good.